Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Live, Love, Learn Pod, a lifestyle podcast that encourages you to find the humor in everyday situations, all while conquering life challenges. I am your host, Cameron Mole, and today we have a special host, Rob.
Hey,
Well, today's topic is how to live your best life in the Trump administration era.
easy to do.
He feels like it's easy to do. I feel like some people might have some challenges, and that's why I wanted him to come here to tell everybody, to give basically everyone knowledge about the Trump administration as well as different public policies and politics in general. Not everyone is knowledgeable, including myself. So welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
So do you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, so thanks again for the invite. I definitely appreciate it.
Of course.
You know, everybody knows me as Rock. You know, that was a nickname my mother gave me back in the day because what she told me back then was when I was about 2 or 3, I would just sit in the chair and do this. So she would, she said, hey, he's doing the Rock. So ever since that's been like my nickname. So again, I appreciate the invite. About myself, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, born and raised in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I'm from the hood. Nothing new about it. Everybody know what the hood is about. I grew up in a single mother household, 2 older sisters, mother and public assistants. Everything you hear about the statistic is pretty much, I have like the shirt that says I'm a statistic. But at the end of the day, as I got older and I got knowledgeable and I got information in my life and I got some education in my life, I realized that statistics is just statistics. It's not real life. So choices are really what makes or break you in this lifetime. And that's why I think right now in the Trump era, he's given us the ability to really take our choices and maximize those choices. So,
well, let's before we fast forward to Trump, because you talk about your background, and I'm also from Brooklyn, from I don't say humble beginnings, but I feel like it's made like real Brooklyn people. Brooklyn has made us who we are, like strong and everything, like resilient. Like it's made us who we are. So I'm proud of I know you're proud of it too. Like I'm proud of being from Brooklyn and her life. But what motivated you to like get out of that circumstance or that environment?
The interesting thing about it is being poor actually was an advantage to me for certain aspects. So I don't know if you guys are young enough or old enough to remember. There was a program called Fresh Air Fund back in the day. I don't know if everybody ever heard of it. Yeah. So I am a participant of Fresh Air Fund. I went to Fresh Air Fund for about 7 or 8 years, 8 summers in a row. And it really shaped the way my thinking is today. I had the privilege to actually live with a white family for about maybe 4 or 5 weeks in a row every summer. And I got to see that, the white way of life isn't that much different than the black way of life. Like the family that I stayed with, they had a nasty divorce. They had 3 sons, nasty divorce where the dad was actually, he had to move out and get his own apartment, and he worked and saw his sons on the weekend. Pretty much what you see the black home go through with the single mama situation. So I actually got a chance to experience what that is in the white neighborhood for a family to go through a divorce and have a weekend dad. So that kind of shaped a lot of my mindset. And then the last couple of years of that program, I was actually with like a white trash family. Like I'm serious. Like it was a welfare family that had 2 kids. She had 2 daughters. No, I'm not 2 daughters. She had an older daughter and a son. And I was there with them, and they lived in the hood upstate. I'm dead serious.
Why were you there?
Because I guess my mom saw the type of person I was becoming, so she kept me in the program. But I think the last 2 years, she didn't realize that the family changed. My mother was out there doing her own thing. She wasn't really paying me that much mind. So the last 2 years, it kind of, again, it helped shape my mindset up today. So I got a chance to see the working class family go through a breakup of the home, and then I got to see the trailer trash side of it, which was like the white hood, because there were black people there were black people there, there were white people that were on welfare. It was, again, it helped shape my mindset to where I am today.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good. So what advice do you give others, like how to become successful or motivate them? Like what advice would you give like your younger version of you, like that doesn't have the opportunity to see those different type of things?
I think for the most part, if you want to be successful, you have to have a mindset of no matter what's handed in front of me, I have to take that and make it successful. So again, we don't have control over where we start, right? We only have control over how we move from where we started. So any advice that I would have for any kid growing up in the hood, I would tell them, listen, the best thing you can do growing up in this environment is not just go to school, understand why you're there. Like half of the time, people don't understand why they're in school. Like even for my own kids, I had to explain to them, you're in school because you're trying to get here. It's one thing to know the books and the mathematics. No, you're here so you can get here. So like for instance, my sons, I take them to work with me and I try to show them, hey, this is what being in a work environment is, right? You have to look people in the eye when you talk to them. You gotta, when you see a man and you introduce yourself, you shake his hand like a man. This is the kind of stuff we have to teach our kids. So if I was like a promotional speaker in the hood or whatever like that, but I would tell them, like, listen, it's just basic principles you have to stick to. Look a man in the eye, shake his hand firm, and just take the opportunity you have and you work with it. Nothing's given to you. So you got to take what you got and you got to use what you have in front of you.
Of course.
No excuses. Too many damn excuses in the hood these days, man.
Well, sometimes
everybody's got excuses.
It's like a real life situation.
But everybody's got excuses. All right, come on. From where I come from, come on. Nobody can give me no excuses, man. Nobody.
Well, right. I can't even say anything
I'm from Brownsville Projects where they sold drugs on the first floor. The mailbox key, like I lived that, like the Jay-Z songs. I lived that life. I know what it's about.
I know, and you've become successful. So do you feel like your success made you join a political party that you not necessarily would have joined if you weren't so successful?
No, actually, I got into politics by accident. Like I was never the type that was like pro-black or this or that. I was like everybody else, so just like the party, have a good time. I was about that life, and 9/11 is what really got me. And it really wasn't 9/11 that got me. It was more of on 9/11. There was a couple of situations that happened that kind of opened my eyes, right? So I'll give you the story of how I got politically active. So here it is, 9/11. I'm about 24 years old. I'm working at Book of the Month Club. Book of the Month Club was out in Garden City, Long Island, right? Mm-hmm. So my career was kind of getting started, but again, I didn't have the vision of success. I just knew I had to work and, hold my apartment down, right? So here I am in Garden City. 9/11 hits, it's a frenzy. Everybody who remember 9/11 know how everything was that day. So I'm trying to get back to Brooklyn because I lived in Bed-Stuy at the time. So I'm trying to get back to Brooklyn. One of my coworkers who lived in Queens gave me a lift to Jamaica. So I don't know how familiar you are with the Long Island Railroad, right? So, so Jamaica Avenue is like the hub for the Long Island Railroad. So the mindset I had was, okay, if I could get to Jamaica, then I have all the trains, I have buses to make it back, to get to Bed-Stuy. So I get to Jamaica and no trains are running. Everything was shut down 9/11. Even buses were kind of shut down. So I'm walking along Atlantic Avenue, making my way back to Bed-Stuy, and I had called a cab. So a dude pulls up, I get in, and I just happened to notice that he's Middle Eastern. Like he looked like one of the terrorists. So I'm second thinking, I'm like, damn, should I ride with this dude? You know what I mean? I'm like, 9/11 just hit,
Are you stereotyping?
I'm you stereotyping. If the Twin Towers just got, you seeing the news coverage, you seeing Osama bin Laden images hitting you.
Nice.
I'm being real.
Is not nice.
I'm being real. So anyway, I get in the car with the dude. We drive along. We went probably about a mile. Cause we didn't like he just let me in. I told him where I was going. We didn't say anything to each other. So we go about a mile. And the dude introduced himself. He says, hey, my name is, I don't remember his name, but he introduced himself. I said, I'm like skeptical. I'm like, all right, my name is such and such. So we got to probably right to the tip of East New York. Where Conduit meets Atlantic Avenue? We got right around over there. So the guy, Pakistani newspaper, he pulls out the article, shows it to me. And on the front page is a bunch of dead kids. I mean, like arms dismantled, limbs hanging. I was like, yo, what the hell is this? He was like, listen, he said, all I'm going to tell you is, there's people out here that are angry about this kind of stuff. He said, I'm pretty sure that's why this happened. He said, because you see this right here, this is going on every day, and nobody here knows it because they don't show it to you on the TV. Right? So he said that to me. We went along our way. I was just listening to him talk, and a light bulb went off that day. Not about Islam or whatever like that. My light bulb went off saying, wow, how come we don't know about this? Like, immediately in my head was like, why are we not being told what's going on in the world? So when we got to my house, the guy was like, listen, thank you for listening. I know this is a tough time, but I just want to appreciate the fact that you listened. You know, we didn't, you know, he was like appreciative that he had a chance to express himself. The dude didn't even charge me for the ride.
Oh, wow.
He said, listen, thank you.
Nice.
He said, I hope what we talked about in the car will, you know, enlighten you a little bit. But he said, I just want to make sure, my friend, this is not what Muslims believe in. And he left, and ever since that day, again, it didn't enlighten me to Islam, it enlightened me to just research and find out what the hell is going on in the world. So again, for me to see what I saw in that newspaper, I was like, yo, what the hell? Like, you know how like New York, you see the newspaper about a tragedy, they might show you a little bit of this. Mm-hmm. That was like dead, full blown, you seeing limbs off of kids on the front page of a newspaper. That bugged me out. So ever since that day, I just been researching stuff. Never believe what you see when you first see it. Check it out for yourself. That goes for anything I see on the TV. I always fact check it because they lie, yo. It's crazy how they lie.
The news media outlets.
Yes, they do. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Yes, they lie.
It's really bad.
They lie.
And this is 2001. You know, before a lot of people got politically active, I was like researching stuff but again, I didn't become like a politician-minded person until probably 2003, 2004.
And so what is your political party?
Consider myself a Republican only because, put it like this, like the last 3 presidential elections, I didn't vote for a Republican. It was the primaries is why I had, like, the way New York is so bad. Like, let's say there's a political candidate you like, right? You're a registered Democrat, but you kind of like the guy who's an independent. You cannot vote for him in a primary unless you're a registered independent in the state of New York. So what happened was there was a politician by the name of Ron Paul who was running back in 2004. And I was like, man, at the time I was a registered Democrat. I ain't even switched my party yet. I was like, man, I really like this guy, Ron Paul. So I go to the booth and they're like, oh, you can't vote for Ron Paul. I'm like, why not? I should be able to vote for whoever the hell I want. No, in New York State, you have to be a registered such and such to vote for the person in the primary. Not the general, the primary. So ever since then, I said, you know what? I'm going to go Republican so I can vote for guys like him. I hate Romney. I hate McCain. Those guys are full of shit. Give me a break.
Did you like Obama?
No, I didn't vote for Obama. Both times.
Both times you did not?
Both times I did not vote for Obama.
Can you explain why you didn't vote?
His policies is what I didn't like. I think Obama's a great guy. I think he's a nice guy, but his policies, like, here's a question for you, right? Has anybody ever looked up what the job of the president is?
Well, they're supposed to serve everybody. Like, aren't they public servants?
Yes, they are.
Public servants?
There are specific, like, there's a specific job description for a president, you know?
And you don't think Obama fills it? You think
Absolutely
Trump is doing
not.
a great job?
He's doing better than Obama as fulfilling that description.
Like what? Like why do you say that? Just in
Again, the description of a president is, first of all, you got to uphold the Constitution. Your job is to direct the military, and your job is to execute the orders given by the Congress, the Senate, and the judicial. Okay. That's it. Like, going up there giving speeches is nice, it's cute, but your job is to execute what the Congress, the judicial, and the Senate brings in front of you.
And Obama didn't do that.
Not very well.
Okay.
Not very well at all.
Okay. And Trump is doing a better job. Well, like I said, I don't know a lot into politics. I do know certain things, and I want this to be very positive, which I told you before we got here.
That's fine.
A very positive, little interview, positive, about knowledgeable, so everyone is knowledgeable of why I feel like a person of color love Trump. I don't want it to be like an Obama and Trump debate, because it's just, I know that's an opinion, it's just like, a personal opinion. So I don't want to compare the two. I don't want, to lose.
Don't get me wrong. I have listen, I have nothing against anybody that voted for Obama. I can understand why you do it. Right? Okay. It was like an iconic thing, right? For The difference is for myself, because I've been politically aware for so long, I couldn't get myself to do it because I realized he wasn't about the policies that I was about.
Okay.
Like, skin color didn't matter. Like, if it was a woman who ran, that was the policies I liked, she would get my vote all day.
Okay, so let's just talk about like one policy that's very like important to me. It's healthcare.
Sure.
So I think healthcare is very, very, very important because you'll see like first of all, something can happen to you in like an instant,
right.
like a life-changing thing, whether it be I feel like healthcare is important. I think everyone
absolutely
should have access to healthcare. Everyone. So I know that people say like Obamacare, and then they say versus like Trump care.
There's no such thing as Trump care.
Well, that's what they call it. So Obamacare. So there's really no such thing as Obamacare.
No, Obamacare is real. Trump just kind of undid some of the things that Obamacare put in place.
So how do you feel in terms of the healthcare situation or the changes in those policies?
All right, so it's a good question.
Free.
There's no such thing as free.
Well,
no such thing as free. Somebody's got to pay for that.
Someone pays for it, but free access. Everyone had access to healthcare. Everyone by law had to have healthcare.
Okay.
So, what is your opinion in terms of?
Let me break it down like this. You know what would have been good that I would have been very happy if Obama would have did. Now you know there's a Medicare and Medicaid system we have already, right?
Right, of course.
You know what would have made this so simple?
What?
If he would just extended that out to everybody. What happened was he took private insurances and forced everybody to buy them. Think about that, right? There's already a free healthcare system in the country already. There's Medicare and Medicaid. Again, I grew up on Medicaid. I know it exists. I've been on it. And all he had to do, or all the Congress had to do, was extend that out to everybody. What happened was he said, okay, I'm going to make everybody now buy from a private company. I'm like, why are we going to do that if we already have a free healthcare?
Well, I guess that I don't want to cut you off, but not everything was free. So I had my own personal healthcare, from my employer or whatever.
Yep.
And because I work in a male-dominated industry, meaning like the only female that I always work with is like the secretary or the admin assistant in the building, not even like on the floor. Like my last job, I was like, wait a minute, in the entire building, 17 floors, I was the only woman in the building working there, employee.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so I say all that to say, and then I had to pay for my feminine health coverage, like the GYN, and like everything was out of pocket. I mean, of course I get reimbursed, but why? Why should I have to pay? What if I didn't have that money?
I totally agree.
Why am I? So now I'm working. I'm working next to you, so you can go see whatever doctor, and then me, just because I'm a woman.
Right.
I don't have. But under the Obama administration, I had health care.
See now there's Medicare and Medicaid, right? There is already a free healthcare system here.
But I couldn't get that free act.
That's what I mean. If all they had to do was say, okay, we're going to extend who can get access to that free healthcare system, right? What they actually did now was say, okay, hey, Cam, I have a private company over here. I'm going to make you buy from them. I'm going to make you buy from that private company. And if you don't buy from that private company, I'm going to have the IRS come and make sure that you give IRS money if you don't go buy from that company.
Well, Medicaid, there was still Medicaid out there, though.
Absolutely. It still exists.
So it's not like, that's what I'm saying. It's not like that wasn't an option.
But like I said, think about it, right? The only reason why people get access to Medicaid and Medicare is because of their income, right?
Right.
All they had to do is extend that out. Instead of saying for poor people, make that for everyone. Why they couldn't just do that?
Is that what Trump doing?
No.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Why didn't Trump do that? Like, Trump's not doing that either.
All Trump did was he said with this current situation with the healthcare system is, for now on, we're not going to have it where if you don't buy from that private company, the IRS is going to come.
Oh, no.
Everything else is still in place. And the cool thing about what's happening is, and again, this is just for my own pride. I can't speak for everybody. It's just personally, right? When Obamacare hit, my health insurance went from $530 a month to $870 a month in a matter of a year and a half. I was almost paying double for healthcare coverage. You know that? Almost double. I mean, it was killing me. I was like, yo, what the hell? Insurance companies was doing us dirty. How you go from 530 to 870 in a year and a half? I was like, all right, this is crazy. So again, I'm not gonna give credit to Trump. I'm gonna give credit to Obama. I'm just gonna say now my healthcare is back down to like 550. I don't know how or why, but that's how it is. I don't know if it's Trump. I don't know if it was Obama. I'm just gonna say that's what happened.
Okay, so why do you think? What did you think? Why do you think that a lot of people of color don't like Trump? Or like, of course, everybody loves Obama. I mean, it's so hard not to love Obama.
Right.
But like, guy. Why do you feel like a lot of people don't like Trump? Like a lot of people of color.
Because it's like I said at the beginning, right? If all you do is watch TV news, they shape. Again, I think I talked to you about this before we turned the cameras on. What's happening now is instead of the news giving you information and saying, hey people, here's information, go check it out. They give information and inject their opinion inside of it. So they give you information with their opinion, right? They package it like, listen, here's something I found out and this is what I think about it. What do you think about it too? That's not news.
So you believe Trump with the whole fake news?
I've been calling CNN and them fake news before Trump even thought about running for president. Why? Because again, that guy in the cab showed me something that contradicted what I saw on TV. Right. You know, so when I'm paying attention, I'm like, wait a second. Why are you throwing your opinion in the news all day? Ain't your job to get information and say, hey, public, check this out?
Right. So you think it is true that the media does dictate like what the public see? Those are facts. They dictate and stuff like that. But there's a fake news. Some things that comes out of the president's mouth.
I love his tweets, by the way. I love the tweets. Oh, the tweets are amazing. Don't you love the tweets? I got her cringing over here.
Because I feel like, I'm just trying to be as tactful as possible. I'm trying to not take one side over the other.
No, it's
so
okay.
That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm really just trying to understand what about Trump you love so much, or why you love Trump, or why you feel like as a black woman should love Trump as well.
I don't love Trump. I think people understand. Like Trump the man is not appealing to me. You know what I mean? Like Trump is a man, right? He's had many wives. He's done some dirt. Like Trump is a dude. You know what I mean? Like how many dudes out there could say they live the Trump life? I can name probably a couple, right? You know what I mean? Like Trump is a dude. He's got flaws. He's had mad wives. Like, all right, he's a flawed person, right? We all got flaws. Like, that's why I brought up the job description of a president. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't like Trump, for good reason, because the rhetoric is a little terrible. But I would encourage anybody to just, for a second, watch a Trump speech from start to finish. And let me know what you think about it. Like, don't take a soundbite from what the television or the media or newspaper will say. Actually watch a 45-minute Trump speech and let me know what you think about it.
Okay.
In particular, there's one that I always tell people to watch. He did a speech at the G7 summit. Okay. And it was a great speech. He talked about the way he broke down economics, the way he broke down trade. It was absolutely fantastic. You couldn't get mad at him. You couldn't get mad at him. Like it was like, you know what? That dude is actually right.
Well, I'm gonna have to Google that. And everyone should Google that one too.
Yeah.
What? Can you repeat that again?
Just Google Trump G7 speech.
Right. Okay.
Good stuff. Or just any speech. Just watch it from start to finish and you let me know what you think of it. I don't push you, man. Don't push you.
No. I mean, that's it. I mean, like I told you before, I feel like knowledge is power. So I feel like getting more knowledgeable about Trump administration and other things are good.
It's Trump. It gets you excited, right?
Like, hold it in. Yeah. So right. Get so distracted. I'm trying to be neutral.
It's all good.
Listen, I'm trying to be neutral.
I'm used to it. Believe me, man. I'm used to it.
Even rules that they like. About how he got elected. Do you think that was a fair election?
Absolutely, it was.
Do you think that was a fair election?
Absolutely, 100% fair election.
Trump won.
Yes. So again, listen. Again, if you look into it deeply, right? Hillary Clinton did win the popular vote. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. She won the popular vote, but most of her popular vote came from California. She got about 3 extra million votes strictly from California.
Okay.
Like if you look again, I'm pretty sure you're gonna fact check me, and I hope you do. When you really look at it, she won the popular vote because of California strictly. About 3 million more votes came from that area. Trump won all the states, and he also won the electoral college.
Yeah. He did. So it's funny that you talk about that because I feel like a lot of people don't. Well, I feel like a lot of people don't vote.
That's very true.
And I also feel like a lot of people don't vote, like in the smaller elections,
Yep.
like the small elections,
Local stuff.
Yeah, and the local. So how important do you think that is? Like,
That's more. That's 10 times more important than a presidential race, because at the end of the day, Trump can affect you personally more than Andrew Cuomo could, right? Or De Blasio or something like that, because Trump's at the federal level, right? The federal level is limited to a state. The state has more control over your life than the federal government does. So, yeah, I advise all my black people out there, get locally involved. Like, if you really want to affect your neighborhood, go to those town hall meetings and go to those city council meetings, because that's where you can really take control over your community.
Right.
It's true.
So you think that's important? Like, what does patriotism mean to you? Like, to be an American? Do you consider yourself American?
I love America, man. Okay. I love America. My family, you know what's crazy? God bless my mom. She passed away this year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it made me research a little bit about my family, even though I knew some stuff already, because there was a like a history. What do you call those things? Like a
genealogy.
Yeah, I had like a
family tree.
Yeah, I had one of those things made up a couple years ago. Well, not me, but my aunt did. Mm-hmm. And we found out that my family has been in New York since like 1790.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
My family are not slaves. I'm dead serious.
That's amazing.
My family are not slaves. They've been here, ever since the census started back in 1790. They've been in Brooklyn. The family name is called Buchanans, and we've been here since then. My great-great-grandfather was like one of the first black postal workers of Brooklyn. Like, there's a lot of rich history here. And when we went to Cypress Hill Cemetery and I was able to get some information on our plot, that plot's been there since like the 1800s. Like, they actually had to go to
cool.
They had to go to like some special like some special directory to kind of pull up that old artifact tree. It was just like a crazy process. But I said all that to say, at the end of the day, we need to get locally involved. We need to get active, man.
Yes, it is important to get active. And what do you think is the first resource for someone that wants to be involved or to get out there and like different politics to help the community? I know like people have like block associations. Well, we used to. I don't know about these neighborhoods.
Yes, we used to.
So where do you think like their first thing so that they want to be involved? Like where?
To me, the first step would be a poll worker. Like there's a lot of ins and outs you can get by being a poll worker. Regardless of what your political viewpoint is, just my mom worked the polls a long time, and I learned a lot from her, seeing her do it. So work the polls. There's an election every year. Come on. Work the polls.
Yeah. What do you think about the cabinet? You talk about election. What do you think about the cabinet? They go to like Trump's cabinet. Well, first of all, he came into office, and a lot of people, or some people left. Some people left. Everybody did vote.
Good. That's right. Good. Get him out of there. That's right. Get him out of there.
Why?
Think about it, right? If you're at work, what happens if you're not doing your job?
Like get laid off or fired?
What do you think is happening to these people?
They're getting fired or they're quitting?
I think 90% of them are getting fired. Those who have left, I think it's good they left, especially if someone who's been, if you've been in the White House 20 years, you need to get out of there, because look at the mess we got going on. Way before Trump ever was in the White House, or even Obama. Look at the mess going on.
He's replacing them, or he has replaced them with quality individuals?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Rex Tillerson, come on, give me a break.
Let's say it like
people like them, come on. It's just more of the same people, you know what I mean? It's disgusting. It is what it is. What are you going to do?
So where do you think that people that want to get more information about the president and the cabinet and everything, like where would they go? I know we have Google and everything like that, but where is like, because sometimes I think politics can get kind of boring.
It's true.
I think that it is important.
It's true.
But it also can get boring. So where can someone like the regular, like Joe Schmo go to get more information about politics? And what's going on right now?
My first advice would be, rather if you like Trump or not or whoever, just look at speeches. Like, the best way to get informed is to watch what these people are saying outside of an election. Right? So if you know Hillary Clinton is going to speak somewhere, watch her speech. If you know Obama's going somewhere, watch his speech. Watch a Trump speech. Like, I know it's like watching paint dry sometimes, right? But you can get good information by just watching their speeches. They say a lot of dumb shit. They say a lot of interesting stuff, but you get to kind of see how their mind works if you watch their speeches. Especially when they're just around doing random town halls or whatever like that. Watch them. I'm telling you. You be like, really? That's what you think? Man, I never knew that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's good stuff.
Okay. Can you just name like 2 other things that Trump has done?
Some Trump stuff?
Yeah, has done like for us. Like you did say the health care in your personal situation. Like, can you name like 1 or 2 more things that he's done?
Now, I know people ain't gonna like this, but the tax bill was a good thing. Let me tell you why. And this is actually a little lesson for everybody watching, right? If you are working right now and you have 0 on your withhelds, on your your withheld taxes, you are out of your mind right now. The tax cut is designed to help you get more money. If you have 0 withheld, you're not going to get any money. It's too short of a session for me to explain to you how this works, but I'll give you the story how I can understand how this stuff goes, right? So again, remember I was working at Book of the Month Club? Yeah. I worked there for about 6 years, and I got real close with the head lawyer there. His name was, I remember his name being like Tom something, but it's been a long time since I've seen the guy. But anyway, I got invited to his house for a barbecue one summer. And he was talking about taxes, and I think because people do taxes differently, especially when you make a lot of money, right? I think he at the time was making like maybe $200, $250. Dude was, he had a lot of bread, so he's like, I got to get my taxes done because I guess for him it was deadline time. So we all around the campfire talking, whatever like that, and he's like, man, I just did my taxes. I had to give the government $12,000. And I'm listening to the guy. I'm like, what did you say? He said, yeah, I had to cut Uncle Sam a check for $12,000. And I remember, have anybody ever looked at your end of year statement? Mm-hmm. Like, have you ever looked at how much tax you gave the government at the end of the year? It makes no sense, right?
Too much. So every week I'm crying.
Think about it. This man makes like $250 a year. He gives the government $12,000.
I thought that was actually really good. I thought that was a good number.
So I said, hold up.
Great.
I said to the guy, yo, what do you mean you paid $12,000? I remember looking at my end of the year and I paid like 17, 18, and I was only making like I think I was making 55 at the time. I said, yo, what do you mean? He said, yo, do you do 0 on your withheld? I said, yeah. He said, you're a freaking idiot. I could have got upset. I could have said he was racist because he was an older white guy. I could have took it to heart. But something that night said, let me find out what the fuck this nigga did. So I was like, yo, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Why not do 0? He said, dude, think about it. Why the hell you gonna give the government your money in order he ain't gonna give it back to you? He said, how much you make? I said, I make 55. He said, then put about 7 on your withholds. I said, but ain't that illegal? He said, no, dummy. He said, you put 7 so you get the money in your pocket, and then when tax time come, you just see what the difference is. You cut Uncle Sam a check and you go about your business. So that next tax time came around. I did that. Like the day, like put like that. That was a Saturday I saw him. That Monday I went to HR. I'm changing my withholds. I did 6 like he told me. I was getting fat checks. Boom. I'm like, yo, this was sweet. Boom, getting big money. Here come tax time came. I went. I did my taxes. I did my 2 because at the time I had 1 son. Did my 2. Yo, no kidding. I went from paying $18,000 to paying about $6,000. Guess how much I had to give Uncle Sam? $1,500. And I walked away. Guess how much money I saved? Do the math. About $10,000.
Yeah.
Right. So I said all that to say, the tax cut helped you if you know how to do your taxes. That's really what it is.
A lot of people don't know.
Listen, we're told always do zero. No, that's the dummy way to do taxes.
Well, because they say that you get more back, I think, right? More and more in your
supposedly,
check.
right? If you don't have deductions or dependents, you ain't getting shit.
Yeah.
You ain't getting nothing. Uncle Sam happy that you, hey, give me all your money. I'm gonna go take that and go kill brown people overseas with it. Right?
Yeah. Or here. Or they kill a lot of brown people here.
Pretty much.
Okay, so one more thing. Can you name one more thing? Because I like threes. I like the number three.
That's okay.
So you could name one more thing why
I love what Trump is doing overseas.
With?
Meaning, he's been there about a year and a half or so, right? Almost 2 years, right? Has he started a war yet?
But he is starting a war here.
What war here has he started?
I feel like he's doing a lot of racial divide. Okay. I feel there's a lot of debate. Like, he says a lot of things. He puts people in place. He encourages and uplifts certain types of people. Okay. I feel like, and then he doesn't like another type of groups of people. He says a lot of ignorant and negative things about people of color, all the time, like athletes, like people of color. That's like, wait a minute, what?
So I'm assuming you didn't like the LeBron James tweet.
I think that was like totally inappropriate. Just on any level. At any level, because
why?
I feel like it should be held at a different standard.
Why?
Because all the other presidents before you were. But how come now all of a sudden now you don't have to?
Let me ask you a question.
When did that change?
Here's a question for everybody. Would anybody in this room want a politician to be their pastor?
No, not pastor.
Why? The question is why? Why not?
I don't want to talk bad.
Be real.
People in the congregations are going to come get me. But I think there's a lot of... I don't think he's truthful all the time. The pastor.
No, I'm saying, would you want a politician to be the pastor?
Oh, no.
The question is why not? Politician in particular.
Oh, I have to think about that question. It's like a hard question. Why? What do you think?
All right. So, do politicians lie?
Of course, politicians lie.
That's why I asked, would you want them to be your pastor? If the answer is no, that means then why are we holding politicians to a standard of a pastor? We know they lie. We know they don't tell the truth. We know they're going to say whatever they want to say to get votes, right?
Right.
So the reason I raise that point is because we need to hold politicians to what they are. They're not Jesus Christ. They're not your pastor. They're not your synagogue leader. They're politicians. They're going to lie. They're going to connive. They're right. So at the end of the day, we need to hold them to the legislation, because the legislation is what affects your life. Right. They can get up to TV and say whatever they want to say. The legislation is what affects your life, not his rhetoric.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. But he does a lot of things. But even in terms of like the immigration status, I feel like he's targeting certain countries and not others. And he's like almost like Russia and all that stuff like that. Held to such a different, higher standard. Or some, I just feel like some countries, it's just like such a disparity. Like with like the Caribbean islands, it's just like it's. So to me, if you're an immigrant, you're an immigrant. It doesn't matter. You're not from here. To me, personally.
So I'm guessing you didn't like the shithole comment.
I don't like a lot of things.
I didn't like that comment either.
I think that's inappropriate, and I don't think that's nice.
Bad. It was bad.
I know. I mean, mostly all the Caribbean people I know are really smart and work really hard.
I agree.
So I don't know. Agree. I really don't know any Caribbean people that most, construction workers hard. Construction workers are Caribbean. Right. They're doing something and they're smarter than everybody.
I totally agree. So the thing is, I never actually heard or seen that comment come out of his mouth. It was just somebody that said he said it. I'm not defending it at all. I'm just saying it's funny that he didn't tweet it. I didn't see a video of it. I didn't hear an audio tape of it or nothing. That was somebody that said he said it.
So you don't believe it?
We got to take it with a grain of salt. We have to. We didn't see it.
Mouth that we see. Okay.
But let me ask you.
Not necessarily.
Nice. But if LeBron can say something about the president, why can't the president respond?
Because this is LeBron James. This is the president of the United States.
Again,
he's supposed to represent the whole entire country.
But he's not. He's not a god. He's not Jesus Christ. He's a lying politician.
He's supposed to represent everyone, and he's supposed to be held at a different standard. That's almost like, you're a parent. I'm a parent as well. I can't be like running the streets looking ratchet.
Trump ain't my father, though.
I'm just saying. I'm going to be like, excuse me, Bobby.
Hold up, though. Trump ain't my father.
You just can't. If you're supposed to hold yourself at a higher standard because there are people that you represent. I'm trying to say people that you represent.
Listen, I'm not knocking
in terms of the country, in terms of America. You represent America. In terms of, say, me being a mother and I represent my family, So that's what I'm just trying to say. He's supposed to represent America, and I don't know. I mean, it's just an opinion, but I don't know if he's like the best representation right now. I think it's a lot of divide that wasn't necessarily there. But I also feel like there's positive things that's coming out of this, because I think that a lot of people are like embracing each other. A lot of people
he woke people up.
Yeah, a lot of people up, and I love it. I love it.
Absolutely,
I love like all this happening, like with.
He got people talking. He got people buzzing. Hater love him. He got people up. They're energized, right? I just wish we didn't use that energy to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't have to go there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's funny. I had a couple arguments with people about this, right? They're like, Trump dividing, he's racist. I'm like, you realize, like, if there's a disaster in your neighborhood or your area, that same person you say is racist, that same person you say is a bigot, that's your best line of defense to survive a disaster. Right? Think about that. Like, remember Sandy hit here in New York? How horrible that was, right? Imagine if your neighbor was the guy you thought was racist. And then you're stuck in a situation where you got to get the fuck out the area because there's water coming. Is he a racist at that point? No, he's a guy trying to help you get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? Like, I think we need to get that mindset back. Like, we all need each other at the end of the day. We need to stop fighting over stupidity. Trump can't make you be a racist. Trump can't make you do anything you don't want to do. You are control of your own life.
He can encourage it, though. He can encourage certain things.
Like what?
Like that whole riot that happened in
Charlottesville?
Right.
Okay.
That was pretty bad. And it was like, okay, like these I remember this black boy, he was just like there and everybody was like beating on him, whatever. No one got arrested.
Right.
No, like I couldn't even believe it. And then he's like, to me, he's encouraging. And then he's not saying that everyone, like, I feel like the words that he says, it's like, did he really say that?
Yeah, he said the right thing. You know why? Because again, his job description is uphold the Constitution. And again, I hate white supremacists, right? I hate skinheads and Nazis. They're disgusting people. But at the end of the day, in this country, you have the right to be what the hell you want to be. Even if it is a disgusting ass Nazi, right? Think about it. If you can't if a person can't be a Nazi, then you can use that same method or that same mindset to say, hey, you can't be a transgender. Right? Everybody has a right to be what the hell they want. Even if it's a disgusting ass fucking Nazi, you have a right to be it. And what happened in Charlottesville was terrible. But you realize it was a 2-day protest, right? That protest started Friday. Friday was completely no violence. Everything was good money. It jumped off when the people who came to protest the Nazis came. That's when everybody started fighting. And it was unfortunate. It was disgusting. It was really, really bad. And it shouldn't have went down like that because they should have just been left alone to protest. They're Americans too, as disgusting as these assholes are. They're Americans too. We all have the same right to protest. So that's my answer to Charlottesville. And I think Trump did the right thing by saying, look, everybody that was there doing violence was terrible. There were terrible people on both sides that went in there and started fighting. You can't take sides when you're the president. Your job is the Constitution is your job.
So Trump's slogan is "Make America Great Again."
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So there's no hats. You can't wear hats in here.
Not in Brooklyn. I would not make it to your house if I had to make America great again.
No. So when do you think America was great? Like when was America great? Like,
man, America's been great since America was formed. Like, put it like this, right? I think people need to put stuff in context, right? Like, America is not the only country that went through bigotry and racism and hatred, right? England, how old is England? Anybody ever realize how old England is? Like, England is like hundreds and hundreds of years old, right? You realize there was a point in England where they had slaves and they had a lot of bigotry. Like, the English had wars with the French and all this other stuff, right? They were a hatred ass nation. They evolved into more tolerant, right? More accepting, right? It's what countries and societies go through. It's evolution. So when I think about America, America they used people as commodity, which was terrible. And again, a lot of countries around the world did it as well. Look what happened in Australia with the Aborigines, right? They used people as commodities. And the reason America is special is because of the Constitution, which is different than anything else in the world. They give you the ability to speak freely, right, without persecution. They give you the ability to own firearms. Like, what other nation allows you to own firearms or even have the ability to own private property, right? Or not have the state come bust your door down without even understanding why they coming to bust your door down. Even though it does happen in black communities, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, right?
I'm going to say
let's be real, right?
Yes.
But the point is that the law that's on the books says you don't supposed to do that, right?
But it happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
Definitely happens.
Right, it does happen.
And it's crazy when you talk about like America back in the day and everything like that, because it makes me think about like the immigration policies and stuff like that, because we all are technically immigrants on this land. In my eyes.
Yes, I don't disagree.
Because we're not original people of this land. So what do you feel about his immigration policies? Like, how do you feel about, I know he had like a Muslim ban, like 7 countries at one point was one of his policies. So how do you feel he is in terms of the president now? Like, how do you feel about his foreign policies and immigration?
I like the foreign policy, but I'm mixed on the way he's doing immigration. Like, the DACA situation is a little weird to me. Like, okay, it's not the kid's fault that the parents brought them here, right? So how are you going to send parents back and leave the kids here?
Oh, right. So DACA is when you were born here.
Right. You're born here, like your parents brought you here, and now, to me, that doesn't make sense, right? So to me, what should have been done is you make the process easier for them to be citizens. Like, to me, in my opinion, anybody that's here a long time and not a citizen, come on, you playing yourself. Like, you can't do this in another country. How you gonna be in somebody else's country and not be a citizen?
But sometimes it's very hard.
That's what I mean. Make that process better, right? To me, hey, let's make the process better to make people citizens. The whole point of, like, think about it, right? The whole point of the country is that we all unite together as a country.